What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Happy Tuesday to you. So today I wanted to go over a few of our stock picks, 3 to be exact, and why it is that we pick them. And I really want to show you how technicals and fundamentals can be merged to find optimal plays. And then I'll give you my take on where the market is going in the short term. So let us get right into it. Today's a choppy day in the market. The market has really gone up and down all day, which is sort of what you would expect in this type of climate. A lot of folks think that, and I'm judging this based off of our Discord group, but a lot of folks think that the market should head down in a straight line during times like this, but the market never does that. Even if you take a look at the 2008 financial crisis, you know, the S&P lost 60% by the time the bloodbath was over. But even through, you know, in the midst of that, we had days where the S&P actually gained up to 13% in one day, in one trading day. So it's never a matter of, you know, shooting straight down or straight up. This is a market. There are buyers and sellers. There's supply and demand. There are profit takers, panic sellers, bots, institutional investors, etc. There's so much that's going on and so many folks involved that in a very voluminous market, you can't have a straight shot down or up for months. So the Dow Jones right now looks like it's up less than 1%. The NASDAQ looks like it's up around that, less than 1%, and the S&P less than 1%. So the markets are definitely falling because there was a time, I think today the S&P went up all the way 3%. Now let us go over our top 3 short-term stock picks, and I'll tell you why it is that I actually picked those. So our stock picks for today were SCO, right, which is an oil ETF. As well as Jets, which is an airlines ETF, as you could probably tell from the name. And then our last stock pick that I'll go over is CCL, which is Carnival Cruise Line. And you might be thinking to yourself, why would you invest in a cruise line? Well, it's not an investment, it's a trade, and I'll tell you exactly why that is. So let us jump right over to the charts and give you a glimpse for all of these 3. We'll start off with Carnival Cruise Lines, right? And as I was saying at the outset of the video, you want to find situations where the technicals and the fundamentals match up, because that's like a 1-2 punch, and something that you normally don't see in the markets, where you're able to align what's going on fundamentally with the technicals. But when you do find it, you should take advantage of it. So Carnival Cruise Line we bought solely, well, not solely, but in the beginning, it was because of this double bottom bounce, right? The double bottom is one of the most reliable patterns in technical analysis, especially coming from a downtrend. It serves as a short-term reversal pattern. So we saw the double bottom on Carnival Cruise Lines. And if you pull up the volume here, you'll see that the last couple of green candles were on increasing volume. So you could tell that this was actually backed by interest in supporting Carnival at this price range. So pretty low risk trade, because your stop limit can be, you know, very near your entry. Bought into Carnival Cruise Line, and then it came out after market yesterday that Saudi Arabia actually bought an 8% stake in Carnival, which is huge, right? Obviously they got it at a discount because Carnival stock is down like 80%. But you tend to see this in the market when companies get acquired or invested in heavily, right? Their stock price tends to boom or rally that same day because of that institutional interest in their stock, and also the hope that, you know, a larger company or entity acquiring a company that's struggling will try everything it can to pull it out of the shallow water that it's in. Shallow water, deep water, I don't know. Whatever the analogy is, it will try to pull it out of the shit that it's currently in. So that was a situation where the fundamentals match the technicals. And you could see here, I mean, this isn't stuff that I'm making up. You'll see when I bought Carnival Cruise Lines, it was yesterday, right before market closed, 12:58 p.m. West Coast time. So, you know, near 4 p.m. New York time. And as of this morning, it was up 25%. Set a trailing stop on it because I know how hyperbolic the markets can get, especially at market open, especially during this market crash. You tend to see the craziest swings happen at market open and market close. So the trailing stop already closed, thank God, and we booked upwards of 20% because I think the stock price fell. It fell from 25% up. It's now only 8% up. So it fell 17% since it hit its peak this morning. And if you want access to the trade alerts where I sent out all these 3 trades, as you'll see here, but obviously there are many more trades and also long-term investments, how I'm investing for the long term after this coronavirus thing is hopefully done with. But if you want access to that, link is in the description. Sign up. You also get the crypto alerts as well as the options alerts. All right, the second play that we'll go over, and we're kind of going in reverse order here. So let's just do Jets. Jets is the airline ETF. Same deal, really. Double bounce here from the previous lows that we saw. And then there was also this what's called bullish divergence, where the price was making a lower low. The RSI, the MACD, and the stochastic RSI were making higher lows. This is called bullish divergence. The technicals were definitely there. Again, you look at the volume, same thing. The volume is rising as the price is rising, something that you definitely want to check on. And then a news story came out last night where it said that domestic travel in the US, Australia, and Southeast Asia could resume by June. So ostensibly this added to the boom today, although, like I said, the technicals are there. So, it's almost like if you're a technical analyst, obviously you believe in the charts and the psychology of charts. And, you believe that most of the news that's out there is already baked in. But once new stories are reported, or once they come out, then it will help your position even more. And we made 15% on Jets, and you could see now it's only up 4%. So it tanked about 11% from today's high. Again, same thing, set a trailing stop, took profits, and we're thankful for that. Last one I'll go over is SCO. Now, they delisted UWT and DWT, which is initially the way that we were hedging or speculating on oil. However, we now have UCO and SCO, which is kind of the same thing as UWT and DWT, not as leveraged as those were. Those were 3x leveraged. I believe this one is 2x. Doesn't matter. Either way, you can speculate on the price of oil using these two ETFs. And when I was looking at SCO, last week, if you remember, the oil had basically rallied in price because Trump was saying that he was trying to get the Saudis and the Russians back to the negotiating table to end the price war that they're currently and ridiculously engaged in. So the price of oil shot up without there really being any concrete plans for a meeting, or really no terms have been discussed at all. It was just an off-the-cuff remark that he was trying to get them back to the negotiating table. Of course, the markets being what they are, they reacted or overreacted to this, and you saw the price in oil, hence the tanking in SCO, because this is an inverse ETF. So when oil goes up, this goes down, and vice versa. But you could see that it rested here on the 200 moving average, finding support here. And you could tell it found support because we actually waited for the following day's candle, which was yesterday, to go up. And you see that there was basically support here and a bounce. So again, back to the trade alerts, you'll see that in the aftermarket yesterday, I bought SCO at around $20.40, sent this out at 3:56 p.m. West Coast time, as you could see here. Now, throughout the day, the funny thing is SCO was just sitting stagnant. It really didn't move. It was up 1%, back down to zero gains, up 0.5%. And so in my view, because of the technicals, and because of the fact that, there were talks that the Russians and Saudis were delaying, whoever you blame it on, I don't care, but that there was a delay in the talks, in the negotiations, and no real concrete news or conditions presented about the negotiation. So, with the market basically left to decide on its own and no news coming out, in my view, the worst case scenario was neutral, and the best case scenario was a drop in oil prices. And then towards the end of the trading day here, you see just a major rally in SCO as oil prices started tanking again, and we booked about 20% profit on SCO. Definitely took profits, especially as it's coming up on the 50-day moving average here, which could easily act as resistance in these short-term moves. Now, who knows? I mean, the price of oil could crash further by tomorrow, but it could also rally if some news comes out overnight that there has been progress made on getting, all the countries back to the negotiating table to agree on production cuts. So I definitely wasn't willing to take the chance. And, in this kind of market, I'll book double-digit profits anytime I can get them, and I'm happy with it. I never lament the fact that I missed out on a trade or sold too early, especially if I'm booking 20% profits. Anyway, those are the 3 big moves that we made this week. There will definitely be more, as volatility is a trader's best friend. Sign up if you want access to the trade alerts. Link is in the description. You get stocks, options, and crypto. Subscribe to the channel if you got anything out of this. Leave a comment if you have a question, comment, agreement, disagreement, whatever. Stay safe out there, traders. Peace.